Look around you right now. Your smartphone, your laptop, the electric cars on the street, and turbines on the horizon, military jets in the sky, missile guidance systems. All of them depend on something most people have never even heard of: rare earth elements. And here's the shocking truth. One country controls nearly 90% of the world's supply. That country is China. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't some future speculation. It's already happening. In this video, we're going to uncover what rare earth elements really are, why they are more valuable than oil in the modern world, how China quietly built a global monopoly, why the US, Europe, and India are so alarmed, and whether the world can ever break free from this dependency. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear explains the real power behind all modern technology. So what are rare earth elements? Despite the name, they aren't actually that rare. They exist all over the planet, so why are they called rare? Because finding them in concentrations high enough to mine is uncommon, and they are extremely difficult and messy to extract, refine, and process. Rare earth elements are a group of 17 metallic elements, including names like neodymium, lanthanum, cerium, dysprosium, and terbium. These elements have unique magnetic, electrical, and optical properties that make them absolutely essential for our modern world. We're talking about smartphones and touchscreens, electric vehicle motors, wind turbine generators, medical imaging machines, satellites, space technology, and advanced military weapons. Without rare earths, modern life as we know it completely collapses. If oil powered the 20th century, then rare earths are what powered the 21st century. But here's the key difference. Oil is burned once. Rare earths are embedded inside every piece of advanced technology. For example, a single electric vehicle uses several kilograms of rare earth magnets. A fighter jet like the F-35 contains hundreds of kilograms of rare earth materials. And those giant wind turbines? They can't function efficiently without powerful neodymium magnets. Now imagine controlling the supply of these materials. You don't just control energy, you control technology, defense, and the entire future of the global economy. That's the kind of power rare earths represent. It's a strategic asset more valuable than any oil field. But here's the twist. China didn't always dominate the rare earths market. Back in the 1960s and 70s, the United States was a global leader. The Mountain Pass mine in California supplied most of the world. So what went wrong? Why did America lose control? Boils down to three main reasons. First, environmental costs. Rare earth mining is an incredibly dirty business. It creates toxic waste, radioactive byproducts, and massive water pollution. As Western countries started enforcing stricter environmental laws, the cost of mining shot up. China, at the time, did not have these same regulations. Second, cheap production. With lower labor costs, minimal environmental oversight, and heavy government subsidies, China was able to produce rare earths for far cheaper than anyone else. It became impossible for Western mines to compete on price. And third, strategic vision. While other countries saw rare earths as a dirty, unprofitable industry to be outsourced, China saw them for what they were, a strategic weapon. And they played the long game. Back in the 1980s, Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping made a historic statement: "The Middle East has oil. China has rare earths." This wasn't just talk, it was a declaration of intent. China invested heavily in mining, built state-of-the-art refining and processing plants. It methodically took control of the entire supply chain. From digging the raw or out of the ground to manufacturing the finished high-tech magnets. While other countries were shutting down their mines because they couldn't compete, China was scaling up. By the early 2000s, the plan had worked. China was producing over 90% of the world's rare earth supply. The rest of the world, from America to Japan to Europe, became completely dependent on Chinese exports. And as we all know, dependency equals leverage. The world didn't really seem to notice the danger, till China decided to flex its power. In 2010, during a political dispute with Japan, China suddenly restricted rare earth exports to the country. The result was chaos. Prices for rare earths exploded overnight. Global industries from tech to automotive panicked. Governments around the world suddenly woke up to the massive risk they were facing. This was a warning shot across the bow. China had just proven it could control prices, disrupt entire industries, and influence geopolitics, all without firing a single bullet. This isn't just about our phones and cars. It's a critical national security issue. Rare earths are vital for missile guidance systems, advanced radar technology, stealth aircraft, and naval defense systems. That's why governments now classify rare earths as strategic resources. Imagine a scenario. A geopolitical conflict escalates. China decides to cut off exports of these critical materials. Suddenly, a nation's ability to manufacture its most advanced defense systems slows to a crawl. That's not science fiction. That's a very real strategic vulnerability that defense departments are grappling with right now. The big question is, can the world break free? The good news is, China's dominance is not unbreakable. We're seeing a global pushback. Countries are now reopening old mines in the United States and Australia. They're investing heavily in rare earth recycling technologies to create a circular economy. Scientists are racing to develop alternative materials that don't rely on rare earths. And governments are creating strategic stockpiles, just in case. But here's the hard truth. Mining is only half the battle. Even if you mine the ore in Australia or America, where does it go to be processed into the usable metals and magnets? Right now, most of it still goes to China. They still control the complex, expensive, and technically difficult refining stage of the supply chain. Building this capacity elsewhere will take years of massive investment, navigating tough environmental compromises, and a whole new level of international cooperation. It won't be easy, and it won't be quick. The story of rare earths isn't just about minerals. It's about a clash of philosophies. Long-term strategic thinking versus short-term profit. It's about environmental sacrifice versus strategic power. And it's a powerful lesson in how the future is shaped quietly, behind the scenes, through supply chains you never see. China didn't win this position through war or brute force. It won through patience, planning, and gaining control of the building blocks of modern life. The question for us now is, will the rest of the world catch up in time? If you found this documentary insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. Let us know in the comments. Which technology do you think is most vulnerable to this dependency on rare earths? Thanks for watching. The next global power shift might already be happening silently.